Good morning. I hope that your Wednesday is off to a good start. Mine is so far. Outdoor office, of course, on what is just a beautiful day. Second cup of coffee. I haven't shown off this mug before. Hope you can see it. This is, of course, made by my favorite potter, my wife. This is, I think, the prettiest mug she's ever made. I think the coffee even tastes better out of it. But I didn't come to talk about coffee or a beautiful coffee mug. So if you are of my tribe, meaning Methodist, United Methodist, you may have had an announcement in your church in the last week about Pastoral Transition. We made that announcement here in Hamlet this past week. And I thought I might take a few minutes, to sort of talk about how that plays out. Not just for us, but also for other denominations. Different denominations handle pastoral transitions differently. There's several different ways of doing it. We have our way, and it's just, I grew up Methodist. It's just, I'm accustomed to it. It's the way we do it. But if you grew up Baptist or Presbyterian or Lutheran or whatever, and our way might seem totally alien. So, like I said, there's several different ways that denominations, religious traditions handle transitions. Our Presbyterian friends, they will form a pastoral nominations committee. They can take a year or two. In the process, they do, really should do, a careful assessment, self-study of the church the congregation needs, during which time they'll have an interim. This self-study informs what sort of person they think they need to be looking for to be their next pastor, and that nomination committee will assess various candidates and present one nomination to the church, and then the church will vote on it. And then that person and the terms of all the agreement that has to be approved by the governing body called the Presbytery. Our Baptist friends, it's not dissimilar. Pastoral search committee assess the needs of the church. They will look for candidates, interview them, that process, and then put a nomination to the church, and the church will vote on it. Lutherans and Episcopalians, they use a system where ecclesiastical authorities, a bishop or someone akin to a bishop, will work in conjunction with the local church to find a pastor. But for us, in our tribe, Methodists, we are itinerant. We use a sent system rather than a call system. Rather than churches calling someone to them, for us, to our way of thinking, pastors are sent. The annual conference, in this case, sends pastors to various places. And there is biblical warrant for this. When you read through the book of Acts, the normal model in the book of Acts is for an apostle or a missionary or an elder or whomever to be sent to that church or that region or that city. That's the normal model in the book of Acts. So for us, how does it work? The bishop and the district superintendents will spend several weeks, late winter, early spring every year, and they assess the needs of the various churches. The district superintendents are and they are like pastor for pastors, and also they have shepherd. They also shepherd the churches within the districts. So they have a pretty good handle on the needs of the churches, the health of the churches. They spend several weeks looking at this, the needs of the churches, the health of the churches, and also the gifts of the clergy they have. Then they're also aware of who might be retiring that year, of new pastors that will be coming in, and they make appointments based on that. They send people based on that. They bathe this whole process in prayer, and we trust that it is guided by the Holy Spirit. That's the basic process. So, in essence, it's something like this, where for our Presbyterian friends, and I'll mention that because I'm more familiar with them than with the Baptist polity. For them, their pastoral nominations committee or pastoral search committee, where they assess the needs of their individual church, the health of their individual church. For us, in our tribe, the bishop and the cabinet look at the big picture. They look at the big picture. We've got in the North Carolina Conference 400 and some churches, and they discuss and they assess the health of all of these churches, what the church needs. In a lot of cases, the best thing is just leave their pastor in place. In some cases, they need to make a transition. There's a bad fit for whatever reason. Sometimes it's just financial. Things happen. Assessing the needs of all of the churches, the gifts of the pastors, the health of the various churches, and they begin to formulate how they can send pastors to various churches, meeting the gifts of the pastor with the health and the needs of the churches. That is what they strive to do. That is what they aim to do, and they take this process very seriously, very conscientiously, and they bathe it in prayer, and we trust and believe that that process is Spirit-led. Now, if you grew up Baptist or Presbyterian or Episcopalian or Lutheran, it may, or something else, that may seem sort of alien, but it's the way we do things. And for us as Methodists, even before there was United Methodist, going back to Wesley, it's the way we roll. It's the way we do things. Actually, I have been a member of two different annual conferences, South Carolina Conference and now the North Carolina Conference, and the basic process is the same. The basic process is the same. The principles involved are the same. Each conference might do things slightly differently. For instance, in South Carolina, they tend to make the calls and announce appointments a little earlier than we do in North Carolina right now. Not saying it's better or worse, but it's just slightly different way of doing things. But the principle is the same, that we are sent. Pastors are sent to various churches, various towns, cities. We don't search out our own call. Churches don't search out who their next pastor will be. And of course, this involves an awful lot of faith. It involves an awful lot of faith. You can't be a Methodist minister without having faith. So a couple of other things I'll mention. There is something of a myth that every 4 years we rotate, and I think for a long time that may have been sort of a practice. I don't know that it was ever a written rule. I've been a Methodist all my life, United Methodist, and I don't think it's ever been a written rule, but it certainly has been customary to move every 4 years. That is not the case now. The length of appointments varies. If it's a bad fit, or if there's an emerging need or financial issue, an appointment may be just a year or two. If it is a good fit, and the churches are happy and doing well, they can leave you there. In my case, 3 of my appointments have been long-ish. First one was 5 years, and I've had a couple of 7-year appointments. But I guess the average is 4 or 5 years, but there's not a hard and fast 4-year rule. Every year, you look at the pastors, they look at the churches and their needs, and they prayerfully discern what is best for the whole conference, what is best for the local church, and what is best for the whole conference. For us, and again, I'm speaking for my own tribe here, for my own kin, we have this idea that we as clergy, we covenant together, that we will go where we're sent. We will go where we're sent. We covenant together that we are in the ministry together, we're in the work together, and we collaborate with each other when needed, when possible. We're not in competition with each other. And like I said, this process, it goes back to Wesley. It's sort of in our DNA. So what that means is, well, it means I'm going to be moving. I've loved Hamlet. And I think of the appointments that I've been at, the churches here in Hamlet have done probably the best job at actually welcoming us as a family. I've loved it here. But I've been here 7 years, and I'm going to be moving down to Burgaw, and I'm not looking forward to packing boxes and the whole process of moving, but I'm looking forward to getting down there in the middle of summer and getting to work there and getting to meet people. And if you are listening in and you're a member of another United Methodist Church, you may have had an announcement made this past Sunday as well. The bishop, in consultation with the cabinet, has decided to appoint so-and-so to this church, and we rejoice in the ministry of so-and-so. It is that time of year, and it is the way we do things in our tribe. If it seems alien to you, that's okay. It's the way we do things, and of course for us, as United Methodists, and the way a Baptist or Presbyterian would do it may seem odd to us. But with that, I hope you have a great rest of your Wednesday.